put some fucking pants on and go outside and do some shit.
Nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
Girl, there is nothing to do.
The Sandhills wants to know what time it is. It's time to get ready for the unlimited social scoop. Introducing Nothing to Do, the Sandhills Social Scene Podcast, straight from the Share Studios with your host, Dominique.
Why would anybody watch a podcast of mine when my producer don't even listen to me while I'm talking? Hey guys, it is episode 20 of the Nothing To Do podcast with your host, me, Dominique, and producer Brian, who's back there ignoring me. I'm not going to drop it. Brought to you by Cumulus Media Group, which is Rock 103. Catch me on Sundays. Sunday Funday Girl. Magic 106.9, Q98, News Talk 640, which we are going to have a new host next week. And I'm so excited to welcome her to the family. I know it's spicy. Also, we're recording at the Share Studios. Big shout out to the man, Jimmy Keith, the man above, like literally he's like right there. On this episode, we're going to be basically talking about the same subject we've talked about for 20 episodes. What there is to do around town. And speaking of things to do around town, this weekend wore me out. So on Friday, I was at Segra Stadium doing my little MC thing. And on Saturday morning, I woke up to a heart-wrenching text about the venue for the 4th annual Art Gallery of Hope. The sprinkler system did one of these notes, and we didn't want it to be a pool party. So Godspeed to Dre. Hopefully you get all that together and open up soon because the city needs you. But now that leaves me trying to find a location. So just talk to me, guys. I'm open to all options. But I do understand things happen. I don't want to seem like I'm ungrateful for Dre because the fact that anybody wants to hear me out and join me on projects is just amazing to me. But Saturday, I got to be a guest at Seven Horsemen's Billiard for the Community Connection Cookout. We had performances by Swab the Poet, who's been on the show, and so talented. It was a great time. Ran into Mike Tech, who I haven't seen. You guys might remember him from Foxy. He was a voice on there for a long time. Got to hang out with Shadana, the Mo you know. And I got to see a horse from afar. I wasn't going too close. But there's a great horse farm. And hopefully I can link up with Mo and we can make this thing happen that we talked about. And a big shout out to Vic Frost. He has been watching the show. And backstory with him. When I was starting to look into radio in high school, Don Chase and Vic Frost were two major names. Oh yeah, and D-Rock the Big Teddy Bear. Two major names, even Big Bruce around the area to help mold me into figuring out that broadcasting was a way that I wanted to go. Hope I haven't let you guys down. But if I did, you helped make me. Your fault. After that, I went to Segra for the Guerreros night. And that was pretty awesome to see everybody in the stands with their bucket hats on. And that line was super, super crazy. Sunday. Oh, wait, I forgot. Drew Hernandez was at the VFW Post 670 and they packed house. I walked in pretty late, but there was laughs to be had. Everybody had a good time. And I mean, when I say packed, those people were there for comedy. So it was amazing to see that many people there. RJ that was on the show with Dennis Beleva. Brian is making so many faces right now. They did an amazing job. So big up to them on a successful event. And BFW 670. Here's to many more. So Sunday, Mother's Day has always been a really tough one for me personally. Because of being an advocate for things sometimes mean you've gone through those things. And I try to advocate for those with endometriosis. And so just saying that for those of you who are mothers, I don't want to take it away from you. I hope you had a great Mother's Day. For those of you who suffer from infertility, or this is your first, second, third, or 15th Mother's Day without your mother, I am sending you all my hugs and prayers because I know it's a tough day. So that's how I ended my week, and lots of emotions like this. But here we are giving you guys the news on what there is to do around town. So let's get this episode started, and then we can plan episode 21, and hopefully we could be on location for, my 20. Would it be my 21st birthday? Can we count it like that, Brian? Maybe. We'll discuss it later. We'll be back with something to do. And the people who do them. Episode 20 of the Nuthin To Do podcast. And, working at Segra with the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, I realized that there's a lot more that go on inside of that building. I know we spoke with Ashley before about a couple of projects they had going on, but comedy. Everybody wants to laugh, right? I know you're probably like, oh, she has a comedian on every other week. Whatever. It's because they're funny. Get over it. I like to laugh at something other than myself. And today we're actually going to mix the two with Segra's Avex. Did I say it right, Brian? Mm-hmm. Segra's Avex Lounge with comedy. And I am blessed to be sitting here with Mr. Michael Successtori himself. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
You're not from Fayetteville, so we have to get a backstory on you so everybody can follow the person, not the brand.
Okay. Well, of course, my name is Michael D. Successtori Thomas. I am from Washington, D.C. I lived there for...
That reminds me of... what was it? Will Ferrell movie where he's driving the cars.
Talladega Nights?
Yeah. And he's like, what's the capital of North Carolina, Chip? He's like, Washington, D.C. Sorry. All right, back to you.
No.
All right, D.C. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Washington, D.C. I grew up there. Then we moved out to PG County, Maryland, which is in Suitland, which is literally on the line of D.C. and Maryland. Left, joined the Army, and here we are.
So when you were in school in PG County, were you thinking about like taking the comedy route? Like, what did you have planned for your life?
Man, I did not think about being a comedian. I was considered a cornball. So
Michael B. Jordan. Apparently.
Yeah, and I always wanted to be a CPA. That's what I wanted to be, a certified public assistant or accountant, I believe. Yeah, certified public accountant, because I was really good with math. So that was my dream until I realized I actually hate math.
The math ain't mathing.
No. Once you get into trigonometry, calculus, and all that other stuff, it's just like, all right, what is this? This is some different language stuff over here, man. So, yeah, I didn't have no aspirations of being a comedian at a young age. So, I got into it because of a young lady by the name Aisha, and she gave me a chance. Everybody thought I was funny before. I was like, nah, I don't want to be a comedian. That looked like a lot of work. And it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. You got to make other people laugh. So that's always some work, But nah, Aisha.
Do you do other things other than comedy?
Oh man, yes, most definitely. So my other hobbies, or I don't even know what they're hobbies no more because I get paid for these. I do camera work, videography, photography. I do divorce parties, children's birth. You want to sneak on your boyfriend? I got that too.
So you're like a mobile cheater?
Oh man, what? I can do it all. Yeah, I can do it all. But no, so those are some of my main things. My normal 9 to 5, I'm a network engineer. So I do that for my 9 to 5, make sure people can have access to internet and block the things they don't need to be hitting.
So how important is comedy like in your life? I know you have a very important job of being a network engineer, but like what makes it stand out to be something that you want to continue to do?
It's a challenge. And ever since I've been a child, man, I always love a good challenge. So, my family always thought I wasn't funny. Like seriously, they didn't think I was funny. So when I told them like, hey ma, hey dad, I'm doing comedy, they look, stop playing. I was like, nah, for real. People actually laugh at my jokes. And that's always a good feeling, to be able to do something that you never did before. I'm not a quitter or anything. So once somebody presented me with a challenge, hey, let's see how far we can take this.
So how did Aisha pull you in? Because that's Aisha, right?
Yeah, Aisha. Shout out to her at the Closet Exchange. She put me out there, man. I seen her at a comedy show that I was doing out in Wanakava, local here in Fayetteville, one of the only ones.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. And I was hosting for her and another guy named what's that boy, man? Dang, I don't want to say.
We used to go call him Cletus.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I do apologize, please.
It's okay, it's the lights, it's everything. It's
Marlon, that's his name. Yeah.
Marlon.
So I hosted it for them, and I guess she seen something that night that she was like, "Yo, you want to come host for me?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I've been doing it for like almost a year now. You know what I mean? And over time, especially with working with her, I've evolved. I promise you, I got jokes for days. So that's it. It just took flight from there. And it was not easy, baby. It was not easy.
Now tell me about some of the hard times.
Oh man, I'm long-winded.
That's fine.
So I can get. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what made me made my comedy. Yeah, it made me like I got long-winded at times. So I'll be trying to tell stories about my life, and my life is pretty like. Sometimes, so it'll get really long with it. So I learned how to shorten up my jokes by writing down my jokes. I thought I was gonna be like Lil Wayne and just be up there like, yo, I got a joke for this, joke that, joke this. But honestly, you know what I mean? A person that takes their time in their craft, be able to write down their stuff and be able, you don't gotta recite everything, but you gotta be able to hit the bullet points, you know what I mean? So as long as I hit those bullet points, I'm good to go. And the one challenge I had that got me started, and I realized I was like, yo, you could do this. I was at Patty's, and Ryan, it was me, Ryan, and the two guys that hosted it. And the dude was like, yo, you got 5 minutes. Ryan looked at me. He said, you got 5 minutes. Don't go up there trying to go over time. So I had to come up with a 5-minute set right then and there. And I hit like 3 different jokes in 5 minutes, and everybody was belly laughing. I was like, yo, I got it. I found the formula. So
shout out to Ryan.
Yeah, big shout out to Ryan. Because Ryan
frequent of the show. Like, and Ryan,
you was there that night too.
I'm just really happy that Ryan's giving out advice.
Oh man, look, Ryan. Look, I know people like, you got advice from Ryan? Yeah. Yes, I did. Ryan, I actually asked Ryan a lot, man, for some advice, man, with callbacks and doing certain things. So yeah, big shout out to him. Big goofy Santa Claus, man.
Yes. Yes. I'll see if I can get your picture, Ryan, so you can put it up, Ryan. So how often do you practice your craft to be able to grow each time? Every day?
Every day. I sometimes I got to pull over like in my car because I got like a joke in my head. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't want to forget this. So I like pull over, I write it down and I keep it moving, or I try to repeat the joke out loud to myself to, you know what I mean? I could write it down. Mm. You know, I got to learn how to record stuff, but sometimes I don't want to hear my own voice.
It's tough.
As
a person that's been in broadcasting for over 20 years, it's very tough sometimes. I sound really nasally.
Yeah.
So you joined comedy around the scene. It's getting traction. And now you have a show coming up at Segro, which I mentioned earlier. Go Woodpeckers. What's going on? So
the young lady, Aisha, the Laugh Company, and the Woodpeckers are putting on a show with Kristen Johnson, a North Carolina native.
He's from North Carolina?
He is from North Carolina.
All I know is my stomach's rumbling.
Yeah. he does those funny videos when he's the old guy looking outside the window. I think it's Nathaniel, and he, Lord have mercy. You know, it
sounds like Brian.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's a really, really funny guy. And it's an honor not only to co-produce this, host this, but, you know, be in the weeds with this. This is the first time I ever did something at this magnitude at the, you know, Fayetteville Woodpecker Stadium. You know what I mean? Shout out to Gabe, Russ, and all of them for giving us the opportunity to host one of the first comedy shows there. So this is definitely, it's work. It is work, but it's fun. Like I said, I love a challenge. I'm sure Aisha loves the challenge, and Russ and Gabe love the challenge, man, because let me tell you, I've done some marketing, but I did like small marketing. But marketing at, you know, this level, you know, for a stadium event it's
tough.
It is. Yeah.
You asked for a challenge.
Yeah, I did. So like I said, I'm welcome to it, and I'm pretty sure everybody else on the team is too.
Okay. So what are you looking forward to the most with actually like the production of the show when it gets started?
Hosting. That is, I feel like I'm a great host. I can talk. I can work with the crowd, everything, you know, other than being a comedian and doing like motivational pieces here and there. Hosting is something that I really love to do, and making everybody feel welcome and comfortable is amazing. You know what I mean? So
if you had a choice, it's like someone had something against your head right now and they were like, look, you can only host or you could do your sets from here on out. Would you pick one?
I'm going hosting.
Hosting?
I'm hosting all day because I'm gonna get my sets out regardless. but hosting, you know what I mean? They're the first person you see. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to get, you know, one with the crowd and everything. And I know a lot of people are not familiar with the crowd work or anything like that, but to relate with your crowd is just something amazing. You're just like, oh man. I'm like, hey, you know, hey, where you from? Oh man, I'm from North Dakota. What? That's crazy. You're like the third person I met in my lifetime that's from North Dakota. You know what I mean? So, you know, doing stuff like that and, you know, shock values and stuff like it's amazing, man. Like I said, I've been doing that. Hosting, I've been doing that since my Afghanistan days. So that's always fun. And
people always think like as a host, it's just really easy. Especially like for us in radio. They're like, it's easy. You talk for a living. No. That's different. One, my face isn't out there.
Right.
Two, you mean I gotta throw on something other than PJs? Like I like my yoga pants to go to work in. And like three, it's just we're used to just short. But sometimes short when you're in front of a crowd isn't.
No, man. No.
It's not it.
That 5 minutes will feel like forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially you get a crowd that just don't want to laugh. You know, some people like to pay tickets for stuff and don't want to laugh. They just want to just watch you. And you're like, yo, what is
those people?
Yeah, you're like, it's like, did they think it's funny? Oh man, how am I hit them with this one? You know what I mean? And so that's always nerve wracking a little bit. But you as the host have to keep going. You cannot break under pressure. You know what I mean? Somebody try to steal your show, you steal it right back. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't even let the crowd notice that, you know, somebody's trying to, you know, heckle you out or anything. So, and like I said, working with a lot of these comedians helped my hosting a lot. Like seriously, like going tit for tat with Slim. I know you know Slim. Yes. Slim.
Brian knows Slim.
Yeah, Slim is probably one of the most amazing roasters I know. And he helps me with my craft when it comes to crowd work and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta like all the North Carolina comedians out here, man. That's out here. They don't know it. I know they don't. They probably like, I'm just gonna tell jokes and that, man. Y'all really do help me out here, man. Y'all help me. I don't steal nobody jokes or nothing like that. I'm just saying. I watch them. I listen to them, and they give out pointers. Nobody is selfish around here. Well, not to me anyway. So this is fun, man.
So is this the biggest act, most viral act you've ever worked with?
Yes, this is the biggest and viral act I have worked with. Christian Johnson. Like when Aisha said she got the name, I was like, really? He said, yeah. You know who he is? I said, yeah. Lord have mercy. And that man said, my stomach rubbling. Man. So, you know, working with him and, you know, just be able to host, man, at Fayetteville's Woodpecker State. Like, I told my family, I was like, hey, so I just got a gig at a baseball stadium. And I know everybody's like, oh, what is it? It's just the Woodpecker. No. This is the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, okay?
The Houston Astros.
The world champion Houston Astros at that. So which means they get their talent from over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's for somebody to trust you to do something like that is just, I mean, the sky's only the universe is only the limit, man. I can't be thankful enough, man. So I really appreciate it so much. Man.
So after this, what do we have to look forward to?
After this, you know what I mean? Of course, like you might see me out in Fayetteville with my camera and stuff like that. But there's definitely going to be plenty more comedy events out here. I'm always doing open mics. I always do an open mic every Wednesday with Aisha down on 1111 Hope Mill Road. Make sure y'all come to the Closet Exchange.
I've been meaning to get her on the show too.
Oh yeah,
Aisha, I ain't forget about you. I just suck at booking. I just like to do the night before thing, but that's my problem. Keep going.
I also, travel throughout the East Coast. Now I'm not saying I travel and do shows. I just travel and do open mic nights. You know what I mean? I like doing open mics. Get to work on some material. You get to watch other people do material too. So that's definitely a big thing, and get to network with other comedians. Like that's always another good thing, because you're just like, dang man, I thought my set was good. It's not a competition, but you know what I mean. You always want to be better than your last set. You know what I mean. So that's another thing I work on. And like I said, I do a plethora of things. I've done paint and sips at the White Rabbit. I've done so many stuff at the Wanakava Bar. So if you see the Success Story name on it or the Laugh Company name on it, no, I'm there.
So what are your socials where people can find you, because you be out in the streets and they're kind of hard to keep a hold on because you're out of the country last week.
Yeah, I was. That was. Whew, Lord have mercy. That's a story. So my social Success Story, for those who do not know how to spell, I will do it for you. All right, because I know some of y'all a little dyslexic.
Don't talk about me like right here.
UCCESSTORI, the number 2, the number 5, and that's on IG. You can find me on Facebook, find me on Snapchat, all those. All right, and for those who from Mississippi, cricket letter, some weird letter, crip, another weird letter, cricket letter, the cross, a 0, another R, and an I with a dot on it.
So, Al, I'm interested to know, how did you come up with your IG handle?
Oh man, when I was a kid, I'm a big poet. I love poetry. That's my first love.
Remember when I asked him if he did any other things? He ain't mentioned nothing.
I did, and you're right. You're right. And I do apologize. I am a poet. I feel like I'm a phenomenal poet. There are some fantastic poets out here in Fayetteville, but I feel like I'm a really great poet. The only thing, my downfall is I can't memorize my poems. It sucks. But yeah, it started off with my poetry. And I had to come up with some name, and I was like, oh man, you know what I'm gonna call myself? MCT. That's my initials. And I was like, nah, that sounds corny. I don't want to do that. So I started thinking about like history, and I was like, okay. And I said, man, I really want to be successful. I said, oh, Success Story. And that's what I've been living by ever since I was probably like 13 years old. The Success Story, because, I am a success story. I've seen a lot of things, did a lot of things, climbed out a lot of holes that I probably put myself into. So, why not call it the Success Story? And my thing is successful people creating successful people. Nice. That has always been my handle, and I believe that to this day.
Bet. So, photographer, comedian, host extraordinaire, and poet, Success Story 25. Make sure to check him out on IG and all the other things, and come to the show. When's the show again?
The show is May 25th. We have 2 shows, okay? Mm-hmm. And if you see my flyer around, it's all over downtown. You can scan either or QR code. One for the 7 p.m. that's in white, and the red is at 9:30 p.m., okay? So tickets start at $30. We do have VIP seats, all right? The VIP seats come with 1 drink for each person in VIP. And if you get the couch VIP with the 4, everybody get 2 drinks out of that and food. So make sure you come out, enjoy yourselves, have a great time, and explore the stadium, please, because that stadium I'm telling you, that is an amazing stadium.
I get goosebumps every time I fire open the mic, and I get scared. And Ray Thomas picks on me sometimes. And then when I do have a good game, he's like, oh, I see somebody getting comfortable. Because, we can't just compliment each other. Nah. Good job. I see you, nephew. What does that mean?
What is that? Did I do a good job or not?
So come on out to Sagra for the show, and let's have a successful time.
Hey, there you go.
It's the Nuthin To Do Podcast, episode 20. A wee boy, a wee boy, a wee boy. boy, a wee boy, a wee boy, a wee boy, a wee boy, a wee. Hey guys, welcome to Nothing to Do episode 20. And I know I mentioned in the intro that we're going to be talking about people who are hosting events around town, but we can't really talk about hosting events, throwing bangers without giving credit to where credit is due. And our next guest is a powerhouse in the event planning and planning collective that, you know, all of you guys go to and celebrate, and let's celebrate her. Even though she is a close friend, I am very biased. Ashanti Bennett from Cool Spring Downtown District. Hey, boo.
Woo, hi, darling.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Although I'm automatically like powerhouse, let me adjust my posture here a little bit.
Ever. I mean, when you think about all the things that you've given to Fava over the past few years, like, it'll be really dumb for nobody to recognize how much work you put into it. And seeing it firsthand.
You have seen it firsthand.
The waves.
You've been in those trenches with us, friend.
I have. And so, like, you've got more bangers coming up for everybody to celebrate. And so before we get to those bangers, let's talk about Ashanti. Like, so you're technically from Fayetteville.
Technically from Fayetteville, family mostly here, but I was raised outside of DC in the suburbs of Northern Virginia.
Our other guy is from DC, and that's on the show this week, and he was telling us that there's certain areas like Baltimore and Richmond that y'all don't consider the DMV.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So there's like Northern Virginia, and then there's Virginia, and we don't really mess with Virginia.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, like once you cross a certain county line, the bougie factor just goes way down, and it's like, no, I'm good.
Understood. I think that's like our close borders, but we're not gonna go there. I already said something about Red Springs before. Don't come at me, bro. So what made you want to get into the planning of events? Like, what was your goal?
I actually kind of fell into it. So my undergraduate degree is in medieval and Renaissance literature and history.
Okay.
My whole goal was to get a job at Hogwarts. You know.
How'd that work out?
Well, it turns out they weren't hiring because they're not real. So weird. So I was going to go to grad school, and I took a year off. I deferred for a year. I was feeling a little, need a little break from academia. And opportunity fell in my lap to go to Miami, and got this job at the Miami Book Fair International.
Nice.
And was kind of hooked, and just kept falling into arts administration jobs after that. And here we are about 20 years later. I've tried to do some other things. It just keeps pulling me back in, like The Godfather,
Absolutely.
you know? Yeah.
Trust me, I know. I feel the same about radio. So what brought you back here to the city?
There's just a point in life where you realize you're trying to just make something happen that's just not gonna happen, and you need a reset. And when you need a reset, what do? You come home. You come home. So I came home, and timing stars aligned. Got a great job at the Arts Council here. Again, The Godfather just pulled me right back in. And have stayed. It's actually the longest single place I've lived as an adult. It's back here in Fayetteville, which I never would have called. Never would have called. This is going to be like a 2 to 3 years just pass through, and it'll be 8 years in September that I've been back.
Okay. So what are some of these major bangers that, I mean, I know you're going to leave a few out because you do so much, like.
Do a lot. Yeah.
List some of them.
So, Cool Spring, Downtown District, that's where I'm working now. You've probably seen some of our things, maybe don't know that it's us. Starting with this little street fair that we do every month, fourth Friday.
Oh, every fourth Friday?
Every fourth Friday of the month from May to October. If you are downtown, you are at Fourth Friday. And we have a lot of fun with those. My colleague Lauren Falls has really taken that as her baby and massaged it and grown it. We started somewhere with 30 vendors. Now we can have upwards of 90. We've added some live music elements. We add some, fun and games and entertainment for the kids. So it is this, whole thing. So there's something to do for those nothing to do people every fourth Friday. But a few years back, post-pandemic, the arts took a big hit for everybody and things were shut down. And so when the world started opening up again, the city of Fayetteville was like, what we haven't had in about a decade, a New Year's Eve celebration. Everybody's ready to get out of the house. We've been there for 2 years. Let's party. So they contracted Cool Spring. And at the time, I was just rereading one of my favorite books called The Night Circus. And from the first time I read it, I either wanted it to be a movie or like a really great themed event, because you could just see it. It's this Victorian circus that, pops up one night. Everybody has this great time. There's real magic going on, but people don't know it. And then just when they're like, oh, I want more, they wake up the next morning and the whole thing's gone.
Nice.
And it's like, well, that's a great theme for a New Year's. It's because it's one night. That's it. After midnight, there's no redos. So that's what we did. That first year in 2021, put together this New Year's Eve night circus, which was just a bananas experience, but one that paid off. We actually won an international award for that event. So pretty proud of that. That'll be coming back. We'll do that for the third year. Yes, third year this year. Time has no meaning anymore.
No,
I'm just like,
it's all the same day.
It's all the same day, all the same year. But yeah, what we've also got coming up though in a month from today, actually, somehow a month from today, is the third annual Juneteenth Jubilee.
Okay.
So Juneteenth became a federal holiday in 2021. And the city of Fayetteville made it a holiday in 2021 and said, let's throw another party. And Cool Spring said, okay, sure, we can do that. We can make that happen. It's a fun one though, because it's a really great, both of those events, they're about community. And they're about celebration, they're about unity, they're about uplifting. Everybody comes in amazing spirits. They're joyful. And I think we can all agree we need joy.
We do.
In our lives, in our world, in our community. And just an opportunity to celebrate and, for free. I mean, we've brought, my goodness, we brought Coolio and All for One. We like to do this little 90s throwback hip hop thing for New Year's. Because you know why? Who doesn't love it? Who's not still banging 90s? You hear it. There's certain songs that come on and you could be at work and you just,
but then it's like the beat starts going and you're like, oh, one of these new kids remade.
Right. Yeah. Like, is that a sample? That's just rude. How's my music classic rock now? But yeah, we have a good time and admission is free and you come to these things and you get to see Drew Hill. You get to see Moray. We brought hometown hero Moray to our very first Juneteenth Jubilee, which was a lot of fun and nuts. Moray it's got a large crowd following, very large entourage. So, but we've had, we've just had world musicians, jazz musicians, hip hop musicians, rock musicians. And I think music and food are universal love languages. So anything I'm planning has to have both of those things. Fayetteville's a pretty diverse town. I mean, and so when we do things, we want everybody to enjoy it. My own personal sort of evolved ethos for event planning is this statement I saw many years ago, and it struck me and it stayed with me. And the quote is, there's a difference between all are welcome here and this was designed with you in mind.
Ooh.
It's a subtle difference, but it is. It's like, yeah, I'm having a party. You can come. Versus, I know Dominique really loves red velvet cupcakes. I'm going to make sure I have some of those so she feels special. I don't, girl. I got this little bottle of water.
Mine is big. Big bottle of water.
You want to share that. But yeah, and so it's details. That's what event planning boils down to. I mean, at some point, the event is happening. All your good ideas done. You're just keeping the train on the tracks, making sure people are having a good time. But it's little small details. It's little things that, a decoration that's somewhere, or, a particular sign, or, just community members that are involved. Especially with Juneteenth, we like to do that mix of bringing those kind of national touring acts, but keeping our community involved. We've got a bunch of groups that come out that are great. I think of our Dreamville dance girls. Oh, they're so cute and fierce.
Very much so.
The Girl Scout move. I was like, I appreciate that discipline. Y'all are hitting that mark. Love it. And that's what it is. People come together, break some bread, enjoy, sit in the chair, chill, and just be together. And learn, Juneteenth, it's newly exposed to some people. I don't know about you, but I learned about it from that Blackish episode. I had sort of heard about
with the roots,
right?
Yeah, I love the roots.
Like, I have some family that lives out west, and they would celebrate Juneteenth, but it's not necessarily been a thing that we've all been doing. And so I learned about it, was embraced by it, and then whatever, handful of years later, now we've got this federal holiday. But we also want to make sure people understand what we're celebrating. Yeah. So, as a former nerd history major person, I always want to make sure you're getting a little education with your entertainment as well. So we'll always have historians on staff. We partner with FSU to create this Black History, Black Fayetteville tour that we do on our super fun trolleys. Ding, 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 ding. You may have seen those trolleys rolling around town. They've got the Baby Blues and Can Do, Coldwell Banker on the side. Thank you to our partners there for making our trolley dreams come true. But even with the trolleys, talking about doing stuff, we'll put comedians on the trolley from time to time. We do karaoke. We've got that coming up soon. My personal favorite, though, is in Christmas time when we do the Holly Jolly Lights and Sing-Along Tour. Yeah. Because we get local musician favorite, Michael Daughtry, dressed as our favorite Christmas elf.
Last year with that sequin jacket, though.
It was, he's got, he's an elf with some style. He's not a mall elf, okay? No. He is a very cool elf.
And sweet.
And so sweet. Nice. And, we roll around town and, look at lights and, imbibe some adult libations for the holiday season and sing songs, and everybody has a great time with that. And that really is what all of events, for me at least, boils down to, is joy.
So a lot of people have it confused that you guys, your lovely staff of how many?
3.
Lovely staff of 3 are basically responsible for all of the things that are going on downtown. You guys do more than events.
We do more than events, and and we don't do all the events. Part of our role is marketing downtown. We manage, our mission is that we manage and sustain an arts and entertainment district for the purposes of economic development, community engagement, and just a better downtown, right? And so if we're not doing it, we're promoting it. If you've got an event, it's happening downtown, tell us about it. We want to push it out. We also hear there's nothing to do. Yeah. There's so much to do. There's almost too much to do.
Yeah.
Almost. But, we also work with the city of Fayetteville, and we manage what's called the Municipal Services District. And that's all those fun, sexy things nobody thinks about, like how your trash magically disappears, or your sidewalks are kept clean, or if everybody's familiar, you walk downtown, you see those big, beautiful Hurley pots with the flowers in them. We have this ambassador program, these safety and engagement ambassadors, and some of you may know Mark Dodd out there.
With the great hair.
Amazing
calves.
Amazing calves, yes. Well, Mark is the self-proclaimed plant daddy of downtown Fayetteville. Actually, when I left the office, he was out there tending to his little plant babies before he left. But, it's those little things that when you go to a place, it feels warm, it feels welcoming, it feels clean, it feels safe, but you don't really see it happening. It just happens. We're, some of those folks that are little elves that just sort of make things happen. Or, if you see a beautiful banner that's up downtown, like we wrote the policy for it. So there's a lot of, office-y administrative things that nobody really knows and cares about. They care about for Friday. Where's the music? Where's the food? Which, we love, but it's a big job for a little downtown. It really is. But I personally am proud to be a part of what the renaissance of downtown Fayetteville. I wasn't allowed to come downtown back when it was,
We came for Sunday on the square, and that was about it.
That was it. I was not allowed. There's nothing good happening downtown Ashanti. You do not need to go there. And so I watch it. I think about even when I moved back, 2016, it was really starting to pick up. But you could still drive down on a Friday night and it'd be dead. Mm-hmm. And then over a year or two, you start seeing that change. And then you see these, great breweries going in and restaurants and great retailers and more art and more, people. And now, you got to get down early so you can take advantage of everything. I don't know, that it's work that can be a grind sometimes, but when you step back and then you're looking at the bigger picture, it's good work.
Yeah, you got a little warm and fuzzy.
I got a little warm and fuzzy. I love my Fayetteville. I do. That's a great town.
I mean, everyone has something to say about every city, but I feel like we also have the liberty to move.
I mean, there is that. There, you can go. You can go.
Like, nobody's
but why
really
would you? Because the thing about Fayetteville that I like is that you can do just about anything you want to do here. We're not boxed into one thing. Yes, we get, Fort Liberty, military, heavy influence, but it's not all that Fayetteville is. Mm. I gotta say, it's one of the places I've lived where I know so many people that own their own business, entrepreneur stuff. They just start things and do things. There's always that creativity and that drive to do something better. It happens here in Fayetteville a lot. Our location is great. We're right off 95. Yeah. You do a 5-hour radius around Fayetteville, you can be everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think there's just an ease here. We still got a little grit. Yeah. We got a little grit. I like it. I mean, I think about Triangle. I'd rather spend more time in Durham than Raleigh, and that's just because I like it. Yeah, I like a little character.
Why not?
But my gosh, the artists that are here. Mm-hmm. I mean, just in our downtown alone, which I always obviously hype up because that's my office. But I think about the public art, the murals, that beautiful mural that we just got with, featuring J. Cole, Welcome to Fayetteville. Every place doesn't have that. Mm. And it doesn't have it, where people in the town are aware of it or proud of it. But we could do a little bit better. I feel like Fayettevillians are the hardest on Fayetteville.
Absolutely. And like circling back to if you don't like it, then move. But it's like the people that don't like it and the people that are moving that are kind of stunting our growth a little bit.
A little bit. I think so.
You want more than just provide something. Don't just sit there and complain.
Bring something to the table, And that's why I talk to a lot of people, and especially these entrepreneurs. You ask them, why did you start this business? What drove you to do this? And they were like, I didn't see it anywhere. Mm-hmm. There was a gap. So I made it. This is how we do that, y'all. This is how we get better. If, see something, say something, build something. Yeah,
absolutely.
If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. This is true. That's true. So I love Fayetteville, I'm excited to see what it's going to be in 10, 20 years. I think the growth potential right now is pretty limitless. Mm. And I think, with rad people like yourself, ma'am, who, by the way, is also everywhere. It's everyone. You can't go have dinner with this lady without her having to hug 8 people on the way to the table.
I'm a hugger.
She's a hugger, and she's popular. But you are also another person. You're part of that fabric of people that cares about this town, and it shows. You show up. You show out. You show up for other people. You're everywhere, and that's the ethos I like. Growing up outside of DC, it was great for exposure. It was a great place to have a childhood. Playing on the mall and going to Smithsonian museums, and all of that access was fantastic. But like, I didn't know my neighbor's name for like 3 years. You know? And so that sense of connection, community, home, caring, that somebody somewhere is looking out for you. I think Fayetteville has that in spades. So
Absolutely.
I will keep plugging along, keep doing these
Keep
events.
throwing banging events.
Keep throwing them.
Like, how many would you say was out at New Year's Eve?
Oh gosh. We actually have this really great data platform that we can run exact numbers, because it used to be a guessing game. You kind of got used to being like, I think about 20, but we can tell you exactly. And for New Year's, we had about 24,000 people at our peak, which is very bananas. It's also a fun experience when you're doing it, because, you know, I'm backstage, I'm in, you know, all the back places making things happen, and I won't see the park filling up. And then there's a point where I stand on stage and I look out and I'm like, where did all you people come from? That's amazing. But you know what I see when I look out there? I see black, white, old, young, men, women, you know, whole families from grandma to, you know, little arm baby. It is, everybody is out there. And so you look out there, and that's the jolt for me, because the work is the work. And at some point, you know, you might want to throw things.
At some point, things might get thrown. Like, it's action. It's already
you know,
happened.
you're
It's the
sweaty.
action. It's like, woo.
You're, you know, being nice
Even
to
random.
divas who
You split your,
you know,
your jumpsuit.
you split your great jumpsuit you bought to wear for New Year's Eve moments before doors open.
See, you get the tingly sensation when you look out when it's full. I get that Sia sensation where I want to turn my back to the ground.
Which
And I'm like,
is,
I'm just going to talk to you guys back here. They don't need to see my face. It's all right. Here's my back.
it can be overwhelming. It can be, but it is something of like, wow, we did this. We made this little thing happen. Because, you know, they're tight turnarounds. Did New Year's Eve, took a deep breath, started planning Juneteenth. Like, it just, and that, those are two major ones, but they're, you know, there's a whole constellation of things that goes on. So
I mean, you guys also did July 4th.
we did do July 4th last year. That was a lot of fun. We had DJ Cool come out at the last minute, because our prior artist had, you know, a whole emergency thing and had to cancel about 2 days before the event. That one's scary. You're like, I just invited all these people for this party and I don't have any music. But DJ Cole was a great time. I mean, and it poured in the middle of setup.
And
The
wet socks.
skies just opened up.
Wet
Gusts of wind, tents flying down the road.
That
Do you
was funny. I
remember
remember that.
trying to catch the tent? Oh God, that's insane. And then it cleared up and dried out, and we had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Not to go down this negative path, but that's the part about what you guys do for the city that makes me upset that some people don't get it. It's not just you just show up and put an event together. It's the months and months of planning.
Yeah.
It is you guys being boots on the ground and doing all of that work and chasing tents.
Chasing tents.
And inflatables. I remember that too. It's a lot of things. So
Wow.
like that is why I have so much respect for you guys. As a person that's just getting into the event realm, like within a couple of years, like you guys have a system down.
We do. We've got a great team. You know, like I said, it is a team of three. Three of us are full time. We've got these two, you know, part-time ambassadors, but their world is outside. They're out in the streets on the sidewalk. I don't know. You know, I feel like a good team of three women could rule the world, quite frankly. And you know, we've got plans. But you get to know each other and you understand how each other works, and you figure out, you know, strengths and weaknesses and who balances what. And at some point, if you're very lucky, you kind of get this well-oiled machine. And so there's never a point in time where I feel like I can't bring a challenge or a problem or an issue to my team, and that we're not going to sit at that table and figure it out.
Literally that table, like if you ever pass 223 Hay Street, there is a big table. None of them sit in their offices.
No, we don't.
They're at the table of problems.
We don't. It is. I mean, everything. That's where the magic happens, right there at that conference table. But it's true. And the thing is, too, we also have a similar ethos about work standard. We all care. We just really care too damn much, maybe. But we have a personal standard and we have a standard for the organization, and it's aligned. And so if that means a problem shows up, it's got to be solved by the next day, which means we got to stay at the office till 10 o'clock that night to figure it out. Nobody complains. Everybody just does it. If that means we got to phone a friend and be like, hey, Dominique, we need you.
Put on a costume.
Put on a costume. We'll feed you.
Today or tomorrow? What do you need?
You want a snack? I love you.
Like, those kettle salt and vinegar chips that they keep on top of the refrigerator.
Listen, we know our audience. We keep y'all food motivated. Little trail of treats right to the honey trap.
A piece of candy. A piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
You know, and we just do it. We just do it. I think there's sometimes for us, I think it hits when we have to do reports out. Because, you know, everybody's work. When you're in it, you're just in it. And then somebody will ask you a question about what you do, or you've got to report out all that you've done, and your 30-page report later, and you're like, that was just this quarter.
Yeah.
That was just this quarter, and we don't think about it. And we just love it. I mean, let me tell you, there's challenges managing a downtown.
Yes.
There's challenges taking something, if we were cute little nonprofit in quiet little suburb somewhere, you know, it'd be a totally different story. But our office is downtown. We're right there on Hay Street. We see all the shenanigans going on outside of there. Many we have to get involved in sometimes. So it can be a challenge, but I don't know. We rise to that challenge and we love it. We really do love it. I think the outcome is always worth the pain points sometimes. Could we have another 3 to 5 staff? Yes, that would be ideal. But I think about it too. It's kind of bragging rights when I think about what we do with 3 people. Like, man, if y'all just give me 2 more staff members.
To the moon.
To the moon. Turn
the moon.
downtown out. It'd be great.
So what are these 3 fantabulous staff members? What do they have in place for us for this amazing event that you guys are throwing June 15th?
So June 15th, yet again, 1 month from today. Keep looking at my calendar in sort of disbelief. Because did it not feel like it was just April? Like, actually, does it not feel like it was just March? I feel like both April and May just kind of...
May are just like rushing through. And I'm I'm can I catch my breath?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I blame you guys because
when we
were doing our New Year's toast the next day, we all cheers to being booked more this year.
Well, what had happened was, don't cheers with people that haven't slept in 3 days. No, you get what you get. I don't know. That was incoherent.
Well, I'm thankful.
You are.
But
it's true.
Back to this event.
So yes, June 15th, Festival Park, downtown on Ray Avenue, 1 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Very excited. We're going to have welcome back some of our community groups. Going to have some history going on. We've got... Oh gosh, what don't we've got?
Is it Nicole from Fable State? Is she
Nicole San Leon? She is. I don't know if she's going to be able to make it to the event itself, but she's been helping us with the tour. We've got a couple brilliant FSU professor that's going to roll on that trolley. We've got that. We've got dancers. We've got a horse. I'm very excited. So this Black Equestrian Club in town, Wanted Outlaws, they were featured somewhere out there. I get my news from everywhere and I just bookmark things, like come back to it. And they called me wanting to be a part of Juneteenth, and I was like, yes, I would love that. One, it feeds the ethos for myself and the event, which is Black people are not a monolith. And so we like to show Black people loving all the things Black people can, whatever brings Black joy. And horses are one of those things. And this was pre-Beyonce, y'all. I'm just saying.
We're not going to open that can of worms. We're not going to talk about country music or bluegrass
But
music.
I'm just saying, you know.
On the next episode.
There's a whole backstory there, but we won't even get into that. But they're going to bring out one of their horses. You will not be able to ride the horse per se. That's just a safety liability thing. But you get to learn about them and how they care for them and, you know, saddle them and all of that. And just, again, that exposure, right? We have so much food.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so much food. I'm very excited. We got a couple folks that do some barbecue that I can't wait. New this year, we are going to have an HBCU student art show.
Nice.
Dwight Smith, the professor of fine arts at FSU, is also a board member for Cold Spring, and he asked to sort of take this on as his contribution as a board member for it. And anybody that wants to take on a whole thing and just do that for me,
Have at it.
have at it. Tell me what you need. Don't need a lot, but just come back.
Just the text away.
That's the text away. But he's rallied some folks, not just from FSU. I think he's got some A&T kids come in. So kind of some North Carolina kids that are from the area to come and show their art. And it will be for sale, which is amazing. I'm excited about that. New this year, we are also doing an authors book fair. So we reached out to any sort of local authors, any genre, any age, and offering them an opportunity to sort of sell their books and expose their stories. Cumberland County Public Library is going to be joining us with that. Always excited when our community partners, you know, want to get involved. We're bringing back this fun little thing we do called the District Vibe. We do that at Fourth Fridays, and then we bring District Vibe at New Year's, District Vibe at Juneteenth. We hold auditions so the community can come out and, like, you got a song in your heart, sang that thing.
Sing your song, baby.
Sing your song. Take your time. Take your time, baby. And we've discovered some fun talent out of that process. One of the guys that he had never stepped on a stage before came to New Year's, killed it. We're bringing him back for Juneteenth because why not? And then the stage starts getting hot. It's going to be fun. We got some headliners. Now, I'm really excited about this one. And if y'all are watching this, you know, pull out your phones, go to your Google, and put in Pierce Freelon.
Oh, I can't say things. He's handsome.
He's very handsome. He's very married, Dominique. But you know what? His wife is very beautiful. Actually, his whole family is like superlative. His father is this amazing, world-renowned architect. He actually was the architect for the Smithsonian African American History Museum.
Nice.
That design, that's Pierce's
Nice.
father. Can you imagine what their home must look like? His mother, Nina Freelon, she is a world-renowned jazz musician, traveled everywhere, sung with everybody. So I feel like that whole family just like comes out of the womb with a talent almost immediately. Pierce himself was a former city council member for Durham, but that is not his claim to fame. This man loves youth. He loves music. And he started this nonprofit Black Space where it teaches children about music from the diaspora, you know, how to make beats, you know, how to just kind of express themselves through music. He and his mother actually just were nominated for a Grammy for their recent album, children's album. Cool. It's pretty rad. And if you know this agency called Paper Hand Puppets, it's the puppets with like the big heads and they're kind of controlled by people. They can be a little creepy if you're not sure what you're seeing, but then once you look at it, you're like, okay, that's cool. I don't know. I gotta think about like puppets and ventriloquists and things like that. But these are very cool. So they're gonna bring that. He did a show with them last year. Also with our North Carolina poet laureate Jackie Shelton Green, who we've had at prior events. She's amazing. Hi, Jackie, if you're listening. So I'm really excited to have him. Pierce Freelon is a person that I was introduced to when I first moved back to North Carolina. And I've been stalking him like a fox ever since then. Because I'm like, someday I'm going to bring you to Fayetteville. It's going to happen. And it is officially happening. We're really excited. And then we're going to have Skip Marley on our stage. Skip who? Marley? Marley,
from the
you
Marley
say?
family.
Yes.
Jamming.
Jaman. That
That
is
family, that lineage.
Bob Marley's grandson. And I got to tell you, that's another little cutie pie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already probably in trouble with the boyfriend off the first one.
Right,
But it's okay.
yeah, you know.
Thanks for watching.
Sorry, boo. But we're excited, and Skip kind of fell into our lap. The behind the scenes of booking talent is
Stuff.
tough. It is very tough. You start off with a wish list. I always start off with a ridiculous wish list, like Janelle Monáe. I know that we're not going to bring Janelle Monáe here, but then it's one of those things like, if you love Janelle Monáe, you might like. So you start bringing it down. You start with your wish list. Then you got to worry about people's availability, what they need, yada, yada. Those start whittling it down. Occasionally it will whittle that list down to 0. And then you're just like, please, music gods, throw anybody in my lap. And that's a little bit of where we were. It was tricky when we first started doing this event post-pandemic, because people hadn't been able to perform for so long. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. It was like, decide who you want, make an offer. They're going to take it because they haven't performed in 3 years. Well, now everybody's made some albums, made some money, gone on tour. And so some of the demands are a little higher than we can always accommodate. But we were sat down, we were just kind of talking it through. And one of our great booking agents, Mark Green, he's fantastic, out of New York.
The one that brought Rolls Royce down?
He brought Rolls Royce. He gave us Drew.
Told you, Brian, I cannot get away from Omega Sci-Fi members. He's also an Omega Third. Shout out.
Mm-hmm. But he's a good old Southern boy. Just happens to work out of Manhattan now, and he's great. We can just text him and be like, Mark, I got an idea, and he's like, I'll check for you. We were kind of stumped because, it's a Rubik's Cube thing. It's always great when you can get an artist that's doing a tour close by and they're just going to be passing through. It cuts down on some of those travel costs and things we have to pay because you're already on the tour bus. And that's kind of what happened with Skip Marley. He's going to be doing this whole big summer tour. And in many ways, our Juneteenth is going to sort of be the kickoff to that.
Yay! No big deal.
But, we thought about, at the time, that is right around the time Miss Beyonce's album was coming out, and we were starting to lean into sort of a country thing. I wanted it bad. And it's like, is Fayetteville ready for it? And then, she dropped the album. Clear, it was too late by then. We'd already signed contracts. Thanks, Beyonce. You could have ran that past me first. We could have worked together.
She was too busy running her internets.
But so then the next thing is, well, again, what's happy food? What's happy music? What uplifts people? What makes people feel good? And then this Skip Marley is like, well, Skip's going to be coming through your town. And we're like, I like reggae. People like reggae. Mm-hmm. That's chill music. And everybody likes it. Because again, diversity, right? Juneteenth is the longest running African-American holiday in the US. So yes, for the culture. But also, part of that culture is embracing that history, embracing everything that's a part of that story, and having everybody embrace it. I've said it before, like, if we celebrate 4th of July, everybody needs to also be celebrating Juneteenth. And so we want to make sure that you cross over some cultures. And we have people from all over the diaspora here in Fayetteville, largely because of Fort Liberty and the military influence. And so it's always lovely to I remember our first year we brought this band out of Senegal, Caribbean. One of their members was a North Carolina native. They were an interesting hodgepodge, but they were playing this beautiful music, and there was this nice older lady there just sobbing watching them, and to the point where I was concerned because it was also hot. I'm going to be like, ma'am, do you need water? Are you okay? EMS is right over there. And she was just like, I haven't been to my home in like 20 years. I don't get to hear music like this all the time. And that's the moment, right? So hopefully we have this moment with Skip Marley again. Let's groove. Mostly I told, the team, I was like, we don't really tell people what to sing. We don't really mess with their set lists, but I'm going to need to hear Redemption Song. And if he is unused to getting requests to sing his grandfather's songs by now, I don't even know what he's doing with his life.
What are you
I'm
doing,
sorry.
sir?
Like, people need to hear No Woman, No Cry. Come on.
Of course.
I mean, just do it. So it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. We've got some other fun things in store. Can't give away all the secrets. You just gotta come. You gotta come. You just gotta come. I will give a shout out if you're one of those like athletic people who like to like work out and like do stuff sweaty and
Is it the first 2 people to get to the hamburger truck with free hamburger? Because I'm gonna do all the way. I'm like, move.
That is very food motivated, right?
Run.
No, this is for people that probably don't even like eat hamburgers.
Oh,
and they're just
okay.
like, I'm gonna get it on a lettuce roll or something. But there's a 5K. The Fayetteville Running Club partners with us. This is their 3rd year doing that, and they'll do a Jubilee 5K at like 6 a.m. that day. Godspeed to all you runners. Roll into the park when you're done and, get yourself some lemonade and have a seat and enjoy. We also have vendors. I mean, this is one of my favorites too, right? Because it's celebrating Black excellence. So Black business owners, come on out, set up your tent. Let's do that. You cannot do that now, though. This is a public service announcement. Applications for the Juneteenth Jubilee have
Look at
closed.
that camera and tell them. PSA.
Right there.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I know that you are interested in joining some of these events, and we would love to have you, but unfortunately, we cannot allow vendors into the event right up until the day of. Some of this requires planning. Still reach out to us. We got other events. There's maybe a way that we can fit you in, but applications are closed. Actually, I let somebody slide in yesterday. So if you got something very unique, give me a call. I might find a space for you, but we are working with limited physical space. There's only so many tents a girl can get into Festival Park. But vendors of all kinds. I've bought some cool stuff at that event. And again, just a good time. Please, bring your hats, bring your little umbrellas, bring your sunblock, fans. We try to have some of those hand fans on hand just to give out to folks because it is mid-June in North Carolina. Yeah. It's gonna be hot. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, it is a month away, in case I haven't said that again. Yeah. It's one of those things where time goes very slow and then it just begins to speed up. Like, I feel like I'm looking at you now and I'm going to blink and we're going to be in the park setting up for this event.
Hope not, because that day is going to be... Just make sure to have all of the Celsiuses in the green room for me, please.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. God bless that shower in the dressing room.
Oh, thank you, Festival Park.
Thank you.
Giving us that shower.
You peel your shirt off and you're like, let's go do a party. This is great. That's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. Last year, Juneteenth, we had 22,000 people out. Again, that's amazing. That's wild. That is people all the way to that back gate that are all there for one reason, to have a good time, I don't know. I'm excited for it. But that break we were talking about, that whole booked and busy thing, we're gonna take a little break after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys get to.
I get to. We're not doing a 4th of July event this year, and TT would like to go on a cruise. That would be ideal.
I mean, it's deserving. You guys put out so much work. Again, like that's why I asked, like, what is it exactly that you guys do besides events? Because people need to know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the unwilling to understand what the organization puts it. Is that a nice way of saying ignorant? What you guys do, but you guys deserve a break.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of happy that you guys aren't doing 4th of July this year.
I am too. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but there's still the great event that happens in the park with the Fayetteville Symphony Orchestra. Fort Liberty just announced their Florida, their thing. I mean, it'd be nice for me to try to go to an event I didn't plan. It's not on the 4th this year.
On the 4th this year. But Degra, shout out to the other employer. Woodpeckers will be having fireworks too. So there's going to be things going on.
There's things going on.
Spring District. Yeah. So just make sure you guys go out and support.
And come down, shop, grab a drink at Winter Bloom and then, have dinner at Piero's. Our downtown is wide open and welcome.
and make faces at 223 Hay Street because they like it when you look in their window. Where can people find Cool Spring on the socials?
So you can follow us on all the socials. You can follow at Cool Spring Faye. You can follow Downtown Fayetteville. We're on the Facebook and the Instagram.
It is not spelled KOOLSPRANGZ. It is not. There's no S.
There's no S on Spring. So people call us Cool Springs all the
Cool
time.
Springs.
Which, you know, as a person named Ashanti, who's been called many non-phonetic things from Ashanti, mostly Ashante.
Oh.
I don't know where that comes from. But the most fun is when somebody will say, like, I've emailed you so many times. Can you read that email to me? Well, that little S means I didn't get it, friend. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oops.
But yeah, come downtown. I mean, again, we don't do everything, but you can stop by our office at 222 Hay Street if you're just like, my family's here.
Your phone number is 223.
Our phone number is 223. That was kind of a...
Or make faces at 223, because that's Johnny Awesome, right?
Yeah.
He loves faces.
He loves faces too. This is true. But pop by our office. You've got your family in town. Last weekend, we just did Mother's Day carriage rides. People love that, but we've got maps of the downtown. So if you're just like, we just need some place to eat. You see our guys walking around in their orange or their blue shirts, stop up to them and be like, where do I park? You know, when's the game happening? We've got all that information. Our goal is to make sure you have as good a time in downtown Fayetteville as possible so that when you leave and you go other places, you talk about how great downtown Fayetteville is and Fayetteville in general, and maybe we can break the spell from the late 90s. There is no more Fayetteville.
Heard they were fun.
This ain't your mama's downtown no more. Like, we got it going on. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of the Arts Council and the Downtown Alliance, our merchants that are down there, our city. You know, we've really just embraced our little space. It looks good. She shines up all right.
Absolutely. So if you're looking for the coolest things to do in Fayetteville in general, make sure to come down to Cool Springs downtown district. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys June 15th on Ray Street at Festival Park from 1 to 9 for Juneteenth Jubilee. I don't know why I always want to sing that, but here we go. Bye, guys. So this week was pretty jam-packed with the people that are throwing events around town. But the most important takeaways is support people in your city. Barack Obama said it best, don't boo, vote. So come on out. I mean, there's a lot of negativity that can be thrown around in the air. But as you saw with Ashanti, and as you're going to see with Michael, all we want you to do is to laugh and have a good time. So I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but seriously, we'd like to see you guys out at some of these events. Know people who do, because we're going to show you what to do. We're right here in the Share Studios. Before I leave, I can't forget to say that. Big shout out to Jimmy Key for all the things that you guys done for me. Producer Brian, Cumulus Radio Group for keeping me employed. Rock 103, Magic 106.9, Q98, 6:40 a.m. with our new host coming in starting on Monday. Whoop, whoop. And until next week, episode 21 is next week, guys. This train is a rocking and rolling, so jump on board. It's the Nuthin To Do podcast. Here's something to do.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nothing to Do Weekly Podcast, recorded at the Share Studios in Fayetteville, North Carolina, with your host, Dominique. And make sure to tune in next week because it's only going to get better.